This is what we call the Survivor Man Challenge, where you are left on your own with a sleeping bag, a knife, and a flint striker. You have to build a shelter and a fire. Here is how I do it.
So I'm off to survive on my own. Let's go build a shelter, make a fire. Let's go. Here we are. So one of the more important things about making a fire on the ground is, first off, make sure there's nothing above you that can light fire, like over here. Also the ground. You gotta make sure the ground is not gonna spread the fire. Right now I'm just gonna set up my area for the fire, and then I'm gonna make a ring, and then add a ring to protect all of the wood from spark. Okay. There we go. Okay, found myself a seat so I can work on the fire. Boop. Right here, I have my base, which is primarily just a piece of punky old wood. Move my seat over. It's primarily punky old wood. And then I'm gonna put my fire on top of here, and we'll start it. These two logs are gonna go here and be the first layer. On the first layer, I am putting tiny, crappy, tiny sticks. And these are good because they'll light fast and burn hot for a couple of seconds. So I'm gonna fuss around with the fire a bit, and then we will see what we got. Oh gosh, I'm already dirty and muddy. That's not good. So what I'm going to be starting my fire with is this. So what this is a cotton facial pad that we melted down wax and then coated these in. So they'll burn for a long time. And also, I found this on the pathway in. So one man's junk is another man's fire starter. So I have my, I don't think you can see that, let me move that. I have my cotton swab here. I have my flint striker. All you have to do is, hold up. Not destroy my fire, but light it. Okay, so now, obviously this isn't lighting because I don't have a fluffy enough substance. So what I'm going to do is take some cotton, fluff that up, put that here, and then put the crayon one on top, so that this should technically light now. Hopefully this works. Here we go, here we go, here we go. This little fire of mine, it's gonna light up fine. This little fire of mine, it's gonna light up fine. This little fire of mine, it's gonna light up fine, light up fine, light up fine, light up fine. This little fire of mine, it's gonna burn bright now. It's little light of mine, it's gonna burn bright now. This little fire of mine, it's gonna burn so bright. Now that it's lit, now that it's lit. Woohoo! I've got a fire. And I didn't even use my Tim Hortons cup, so I technically can now use this as an orifice to hold liquid. Score. I have made fire. This little light of mine, let it shine. I have got fire. So what I want to do now is work on some sort of shelter. So I need long-ish logs that aren't too big so I can't handle them, nor too small, because then there's no point of it. I think this is all the wood I'll need for a very long time. One thing I have to be careful of is overworking. It's hot, I'm going to take off my hoodie in a minute, and need water. I have a river just over there I'll use for my water. I have a kettle in which I'll boil water in. But other than that, I think I'll be set. Let's get some more wood. Let's go to the shelter. So as you can see here, the ground's not level. So I need to level out the ground. So I'm adding dirt to level it out. But I think that this is where I'll be sleeping. Lay some spruce browse through here, see what it is. See what it's like. I'm gonna take a break and get a drink. So shelter's more or less made. Gonna add some logs here and there every once in a while. But the next thing I need is, if you can tell, running low on water. So let's grab my pot and let's go to the stream. So I have the pot and I'm gonna go to the river and fill up. And while I'm doing that, I am going to find a large flat rock. You'll see why. A large flat rock in a couple of minutes. But let's go to the water. Now, need to find a large flat rock that tickles my fancy. Oh, it's spilling on me. No. Okay. So here's the rock. Here's the pot. I'm gonna put this onto my fire to warm up. And then that'll be my transferring of heat. Time to get more firewood. So one of the hardest things I find for survival is the boredom. You're out here all by yourself, but nobody to talk to. So that kind of plays on your mind, because you have to keep yourself occupied now, rather than having something occupy you. It's kind of a hard thing to contemplate, because you have to figure out an even thing of where you're not wasting a lot of energy, but you're not bored, because boredom will surely get to you. Changed my mind on the fireplace. I just, as you probably could see, I made a ring of dirt instead of a ring of rock. I didn't feel like bringing a lot of rock up because it's actually pretty far from the shelters, 100 meters from the waterfront. So I don't really feel like dragging more than the one heavy rock I have up 100 feet, up 100 meters. Ow. So yeah, I have to find a way to keep sane now. Probably gonna wait for my water to boil and then figure out something to do. So yeah, that's the real kicker out here. It isn't the lack of food, it isn't the lack of water if there is any. It's the fact that I have nothing to do and nobody to talk to, except for you, but it's more me talking to me, because later on you're going to watch this, and yeah, it's just a confusing circle in which I'm in, so I have to figure out something to do, so that I am not bored out of my mind, because, let's face it, I'm in the middle of nowhere, doing nothing, just waiting. So, I've heard survival stories of people who, burnt down hydro lines, like the power poles, because they run through the forest and all this. People would burn them down just so that a crew would come to investigate, because hey, we're something broke. I think it's called the audacity of survival. It's an interesting survival thing I've heard of, is the fact that people just, the length you'll go to survive, and I don't have to go to any length, thankfully, because my survival crew is just over there building a bridge across the river. It's really interesting to think that tribes of people lived roughly in this area and just thrived and didn't really have problems with anything. Like they didn't have they thrived. They didn't live well. They didn't sleep and enjoy what they're doing. It's just they did what they had to do That's for like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. They just were able to thrive off of just doing stuff. And that's where like powwows came in. That's where their hunting came in. That's where like all of this really interesting stuff that they did can be used in a survival sense, and like the fact of build a good shelter, enjoy what you're doing. Howdy, Clayton. How's it going? Just chatting to the camera.
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching. Next year there'll be another video of me doing the exact same. And thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.